And now your man,
Donovan Sharpe.
What's up, guys? It's your man, Donovan Sharpe, and welcome to the 498th episode of TSR Live, brought to you by Gorilla Mind Rush, the #1 productivity, focus, and concentration supplement on the market. It is Thursday, August 8th, 2019. We are multi-streaming live, as always, to YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. So however you are watching, wherever you are watching, I sincerely thank you for making the Sharpe Reality Live a part of your daily routine. Okay, let's get right to it. So I saw an article on Rollo Tomasi's Twitter feed entitled, "I'm pregnant and I don't know if the father is my boyfriend or his best mate," in other words, his best friend. And I immediately thought to myself, oh, I'm in. I am here for the girl is pregnant, but the boyfriend's best friend could be the father. I'm here for it, and I know you guys are here for it too. So a special thanks goes out to the Godfather himself, Rollo Tomasi, for sort of indirectly submitting today's topic. Now, as funny as this particular situation may seem, and trust me, this is absolutely hilarious, because this girl was not only stupid enough to cheat on her boyfriend with his best friend, but she also let him hit it raw, right? This is a lot more common than most people realize. I've done a couple of episodes that are directly related to this particular situation. One episode was called 3 Reasons Most Men Are Not Your Friends, and the other one was the downsides of dating 9s and 10s. In both episodes, I explicitly stated repeatedly that bringing your girlfriend around your friends is always a bad idea, especially if she's attractive. Because no matter how tight you and your homeboys are, no matter how long you've known each other, no matter how far back you go, the power of a woman's sexual allure will dissolve that bond with the ease of a hot knife through butter, I'm here to tell you. Now, people who do not have red pill awareness are always quick to make these disingenuous comments like, you should have chosen your friends better. Which, by the way, is something only women say, because, of course, women always do what's called playing the result, right? So, for example, they're always quick to say, well, I knew there was something wrong with that boy, when she finds out her neighbor's kid became a serial killer later in life. Of course, I also have people in here telling me, well, if they were your best friend, they wouldn't do that, and so on and so forth. You guys get the picture. But those are the same people who watch shows like Jerry Springer and Maury Povich. Now, people who act like this, people who deny the truth out loud, but know what's really going on, are like women who talk a bunch of noise about how wrong red pill truth is. They know we're over here telling the truth about who and what they are. But because I'm a cocky, brash son of a bitch who speaks unapologetically about the true nature of women and couldn't care less that it hurts their feelings, they throw shade. And the same thing applies to men who are not unplugged from the matrix. These dudes get all in their feelings when I tell them uncomfortable truths about themselves. What do these guys end up doing? They start trolling me. They start emailing me, slide into my DMs. But in the end, they know I'm telling the truth, and that's really why they're upset. Which brings us to today's article. Understand this, gentlemen. Any man who thinks that his best friend would not sleep with his girlfriend will be in for a rude awakening when and if his girl is checking for his homeboy and his homeboy gets the opportunity. Now, girls already know this. Okay, girls know that their best friends will get up under their boyfriends in a New York minute and feel not 1 ounce of guilt about it. And they act accordingly, and they keep their men away from their friends. But meathead red pill guy who thinks that because men and women are who acknowledges that men and women are different, but then doesn't realize that there are a few similarities between the two sexes, has no idea that his best friend always seems to show up out of nowhere when he's chilling with his girl. And he finds out the hard way. Okay? And what he finds out is that the main reason that you should keep your friends away from your girlfriend when she pisses a plus sign, then comes at you with the, there's something I need to tell you. There's something you need to know. And that is exactly what happened to this dude in this article. So let's go ahead and break this down. So she says, "Dear Deidre, I had sex with my partner's best friend, best mate, every Thursday for a month. I was stupid because I really love my boyfriend. Now I am pregnant and I don't know who the father is. This friend always flirted with me. He has a girlfriend but never stopped making a play for me. I asked him not to do it as I didn't want to hurt anybody, but he took no notice and eventually wore me down. The guys are both 26 and I am 23. It was really stupid because I really love my boyfriend. No, you don't. You love your boyfriend's company, but you don't love him. You love the security your boyfriend and his commitment provides you with, but you don't love him. If this chick really loved her boyfriend, she would not have cheated on him with her best friend every Thursday without protection. And by the way, speaking of every Thursday, I don't buy for 1 second that this chick slept with this dude once a week for just a month. She tries to reduce the outright licentiousness of her cheating, but she banged him more than once a week and definitely for longer than a month. You can bet on it. A telltale sign of a female lying is when she gives exact numbers, exact times, and exact days. So for example, a girl will say, well, I left work at 5:30. I got to Brianna's house at 5:45. We hung out until 6:30. Then I went to Carly's place until 8:30. And then I came home. Guys, those times are too exact. Those numbers are too round. The time spent at each location was just too neat. What really happened was she left with Kevin in sales and he blew her back out until she realized it was late. She got dressed in a frantic rush, jumped in her car, and made up that BS that I just read you. Timeline of events, right? She made that up. Timeline of events on her way home. Gentlemen, girls always give themselves away when they get too precise or they give exact details that are unnecessary. And the reason they do this is to oversell the fact that what they are saying is true, which always means it's a lie. So this girl wants us to think that she had sex with this dude exactly 4 times and that affair only lasted a month? I'm calling bullshit. This dude plowed that broad 3 times a week for at least 2 months. She wants us to think, oh, well, she only slept with him 4 times and it was all within the same month, so it wasn't really that bad. Get the hell out of here with that. This chick is 100% lying about this every Thursday for a month nonsense. Any man with even a remedial working knowledge of how women really operate knows that this is BS. Then, like all Western women do when trying to remove themselves from responsibility, she indirectly blames the best friend for what happened. She says she asked him not to because she didn't want to hurt anybody, but he ignored her and wore her down. Do you see how her verbiage removes accountability, guys? Think about that. Do you see how she puts herself, and this is next level game here, guys, pay attention. Do you see how she puts herself in a passive role instead of an active role, which leads the reader to assume that she was just along for the ride and had no control? He took no notice. He wore me down. She is saying he did the thing to me, so he is responsible and not me. So for example, instead of a woman saying, I slept with him, which puts her in the active role, and him in the passive role, which puts the responsibility on her, she will say, he had sex with me, or he effed me, which puts her in the passive role, which indirectly removes herself as someone who was complicit in what happened. Guys, this girl did the same thing. She said, he wore me down, which she wants to imply that she was resolute in not succumbing to his advances, but because he was relentless, he wore her down. That implies that she had no control over what happened because the thing was being done to her. Guys, girls do this all the time in all situations. They do this when they want to dodge accountability and responsibility, and this girl did exactly the same thing here. Always listen to what women say, because if you're paying attention, you will pick up on her attempts at skirting responsibility at every turn with this reversal of passive active roles. You got to pay attention, guys. Girls do this all the time. Let's move on. She continues. He kept on saying how sexy I am and that no one would get hurt. He also told me what my partner didn't know wouldn't hurt him, that I knew I wanted it, and so on. In the end, I agreed to go round to his place, but just for a drink, so we could talk about how we both felt, she says. My partner and his best mate's girlfriend are both in retail and work late on Thursdays. So it was easy for me and this friend, to go to his place when they weren't around. Of course, she says, he talked me into bed once I got there. The first couple of times the sex felt amazing, but after a few weeks, I came to my senses. I love how she has come up with 48 different ways of blaming this guy. He kept on saying how sexy I was, as if to imply that she wasn't already sexually attracted to him until he told her she was sexy. No. She wanted to sleep with him, and she made it obvious, which the best friend picked up on right away and acted accordingly. You see, gentlemen, what this girl is not telling us here is that she enticed him. She's not telling us that she was the one shooting him indicators of interest behind her boyfriend's back. What she is not telling us was that she was making prolonged eye contact with him. She was finding excuses to touch him and be near him. She's the one that made an excuse to get his number. Oh, I should have it just in case you need anything. She would have us believe that he just started hitting on her out of the blue, unprovoked, and she was just an innocent little girl who had never hurt anybody, just standing around when the big bad pickup artist descends upon her out of nowhere and for no reason at all starts to seduce her, and she had no control. She wants us to believe, guys, that she had no sexual interest in him until he started hitting on her. But we in the sphere, we know better. We know that this was absolutely a two-way street and that she absolutely opened this door. Don't get it twisted, guys. This isn't to absolve the best friend or say that the best friend wasn't complicit in this situation, because he absolutely was. But let's not pretend that he made the first move here. She was giving the best friend choosing signals. He picked up on them, he ran game, and he got the booty. He didn't just up and decide out of nowhere, you know what? I'm going to have unprotected sex with my best friend's girlfriend who is not on birth control. Not a chance. He was provoked by her. She flirted in a way that gave her plausible deniability, but she didn't have the gall to take it to the next level like he did. And make no mistake, gentlemen, she slept with this guy until she found out she got pregnant, and not a minute sooner than that. She didn't stop because she came to her senses. She didn't stop because of her guilt or her conscience or her sense of fairness or her sense of loyalty to her boyfriend. No, she stopped when she found out she got pregnant, period. Then she says she agreed to go to his place, but not for sex. Oh no, we were just going to go have drinks and talk about how we felt. Guys, this is bullshit. This is also what we call plausible deniability. I was just telling you about this. Girls use this tactic again to remove themselves from being complicit in what happened. How could you have slept with him? Well, it just happened. I just went to his place to have a drink, and one thing led to another, as if to imply that this wasn't her intention in the first place, or that she didn't know that this was going to happen. And let's not make any mistake here. This was her intention, guys. She absolutely wanted to have sex with this dude, and they both knew it. But she tells us just for a drink so that we could talk about how we felt. Because if she was honest and said, listen, I wanted to have sex with him, so I went to his place, she would look like a slut, and no female wants to look like that. Now, the funny thing is that she slips up a little bit here, right? She slips up and indirectly admits what her intentions were when she said, of course, he talked me into bed once I got there. By saying, of course, she is telling us that this was the likely scenario and that she knew that this would probably happen. She broke script for a split second and forgot to act like she didn't know what would happen when she got to his place. But then she recovered when, again, she puts him in the active role and her in the passive role by saying, he talked me into bed. As if she would not have slept with him had he not talked her into bed. As if saying him talking to her hypnotized her into sleeping with him, which of course divorces her of any and all responsibility. Guys, if you want laser focus and a good, clean, controlled energy to get a lot done in a short period of time, you need Gorilla Mind Rush. I tried it last month and I have used it ever since. Just 3 tablets in the morning with a cup of 4 Sigmatic mushroom coffee with lion's mane and chaga, which you can also get on my website. And my mind and body work at peak operating efficiency. I power through my workout, I power through my bike rides, and I have more than enough mental and physical energy left over to prepare for my show, do my consultations, and stay hyper-focused and undistracted the entire time. Now, 15 minutes after you take Gorilla Mind Rush, you start to notice a subtle change in your mindset. 15 minutes after that, you'll notice that you're much more focused. You're also thinking more clearly, you'll be a little more energetic, and your motivation to be productive goes up just a little bit. In an hour, you'll feel noticeably more focused and can concentrate even with distractions around. You'll feel less stressed and less anxious. After 90 minutes, you are in full Gorilla Mind Rush mode. Your focus, your concentration, your memory will be far beyond your normal state, and you will stay this way for at least 6 hours. And get this, guys, again, there is no crash. You get all the benefits of your mind being hyper-focused for a long period of time without the cliff, falling off the cliff and crashing when it wears off. If you need this kind of focus, if you need this kind of energy, if you need this kind of productivity, and you also want to support the show, you can get the best of both worlds by going to donovansharpe.com/Gorilla Mind Rush. Again, that is donovansharpe.com/Gorilla Mind Rush. I will go ahead and put the link in the chat right now. Put it in here a couple of times. I've also put the link. You can also find the link in the description. All right, let's continue. I felt sick, she continues, at what I had been doing, and I told him clearly it had to stop right there and then. During this time, I was still sleeping with my partner as if nothing was going on. We've been together for 5 years and have a regular sex life. My partner is over the moon about my pregnancy. I'm 5 months along now. I told his friend too, but he just shrugged his shoulders and wanted to continue with our secret affair. I told him where to go, as the last thing I wanted was sex with him. Oh, she told him, didn't she? Now, I have told my partner about his mate, his friend. We are staying together, she says, and having DNA tests done once the baby is born. I so want the baby to be my partner's and hate myself for giving in to his friend. Oh, man. When she says she felt sick at what she's been doing, she is flat out lying. Again, all girls want to save face. No girl ever wants to look bad. This chick is trying to save face by saying that she felt guilty about what she is doing, as if it somehow lessens the deceit and promiscuity. Now, how do I know she's lying, you ask? Well, because in the very next sentence, she said she was still having sex with her boyfriend as if nothing was going on. She felt not 1 ounce of guilt about this until she got pregnant. That's when her conscience magically just kicked in. Now comes the part where she tells both guys about what's going on, and their reactions are what you would expect if you have red pill awareness. When she told the best friend, he said, "Cool. You can tell him that it's his, that the baby's his, and we're in the clear. By the way, let's bang." That's what he told her. When she told her boyfriend, this dude decided that even though the kid might not be his, that they are staying together. Gentlemen, this is why she is attracted to her boyfriend, but aroused by his best friend. She's attracted to her boyfriend's unconditional loyalty, guys. This gives her comfort and security, both of which are unnecessary to a woman's sexual attraction to you. Not even the prospect of raising a child whose biological father could be his best friend could make this guy leave her. This is what every woman wants in a man. Unconditional love and unconditional loyalty, no matter what she does, says, or how she acts. This, again, is very attractive, but not sexually attractive. She is aroused, on the other hand, by her friend, by the best friend, for obvious reasons, not the least of which is his one-track mind. She tells him she's pregnant, and he shrugs his shoulder and tells her he wants to keep banging her, right? But there's one more thing. One more thing this girl is not being honest about. And that's the story she told her boyfriend. Guys, she didn't tell him she had an affair with his best friend. Okay? She didn't tell him that she had sex with him every Thursday for a month. Oh, no. She didn't tell him that. She told him they had sex one time and one time only, and that she did it because she was drunk. Guys, listen, I don't care if you are the bluest of blue pill betas. If your girlfriend tells you that she had unprotected sex with your best friend for 3 months or more, there is no way that you would agree to stay with her after that, guys. No way. I don't care who you are. The only way to explain why this dude actually stayed with her is because she told him something to this effect. Okay? She said something to this effect. Well, you were working late and I was lonely. I went to his place to talk about how much I miss and love you, and I had way too much to drink and he took advantage of me. I don't even remember I don't even remember it happening, to be honest with you. So I'm not even sure if he used a condom. I just remember sobering up and thinking, OMG, what have I done? Baby, I swear on my life that it only happened one time. It will never happen again, I promise. That is the only way this dude decided to stick around. If he knew the truth, guys, he'd have bounced like the ball and mailed her a child support check and mailed all the child support checks if the DNA test said he's the father. And again, right here at the end, guys, she says, I hate myself for giving in to his friend. Again, implying that the best friend was the unprovoked aggressor and was relentless, even in the face of her repeated rejections. Bitches blame shift till the end, guys. That's all there is to it. Now, as bad as this is, the real tragedy comes at the end when Deidre gives her advice. Holy smokes. So Deidre says, it's great that your partner is staying with you, at least for now. Of course she would say that, right? But is he only staying? Is he only staying in case the baby is his? Is he planning to leave you if DNA tests prove his mate to be the father? Try to work on your relationship during the months you still have before the birth. Of course, it was totally wrong of you to cheat, but there must have been some shortcoming in your relationship for you to be vulnerable to his friends flirting. If your partner can understand his own share of responsibility, maybe he could focus less on who is the baby's biological father and more on how special you are as a couple and how happily he welcomed the idea of having a child together. Please keep me posted, but above all, I hope your baby arrives safely. Holy shit, guys. Let's take this from the top. So she asks if he's only staying in case the baby is his. This gentleman is making a statement by asking a question. That statement is, if he's staying because the baby might be his, he's not staying for the right reasons. He should love you unconditionally through thick and thin, and if that's the only reason he's staying, then shame on him. Now, how do I know that this is what Deidre is saying? She said the word only, as in there should be other reasons he's staying. Another way I know that this is what she's saying is when that she asked her if he was planning to leave if the DNA test says his friend was the father. Then she advises her to continue to manipulate her boyfriend into staying with her, but she calls it work on your relationship, which is code for love bomb your boyfriend, girl. Tell him whatever you have to tell him to get him to stay so you don't become a single mother. Guys, women don't give a damn about men, dude. They really don't. Even when women pretend to care about men, they don't give a damn about us. The advice that women give other women about men is only for the benefit of women. I'll say that again. The advice women give each other about men only benefits women. That's all there is to it. Even if it's at the expense of men, and some women even prefer it to be at the expense of men. Never mind the fact that her boyfriend is going to have to live with the fact that she had unprotected sex with his best friend. He may have to raise a child who is not biologically his, and that is a no-win situation for a man. Does she care? Does Deidre care? Nope. Work on the relationship, girl. Right? It was totally wrong of you to cheat, but there must have been something that you did, right? Here, make sure you distract your partner with his share of the responsibility so he doesn't pay attention to the fact that that his best friend raw dogged you for 3+ months, because we all know that it was more than 4 times if he banged you enough to get you pregnant, right? This benefits the woman because she has a man to take care of the bastard kid, but it's at his expense, which, by the way, Deidre gives absolutely zero shits about. Trust me. Plus, guys, you have to understand this. A lot of female relationship coaches, they would advise a woman in her situation to get the boyfriend to sign the birth certificate, even if he knows the kid isn't his. I want him to know he has a real dad. You don't want to make our child suffer, do you? That's the advice that she would give this chick. Don't get it twisted, guys. The advice women give other women about relationships is almost always at the expense of the man, and this advice is no different. But now we come to the coup de grace, when Deirdre lays the blame at the feet of her boyfriend. And this, gentlemen, is exactly why females are getting worse and worse. This woman, Deirdre, whatever the hell her name is, a relationship expert that women listen and follow, told this girl that there must have been a shortcoming in her relationship that made her vulnerable to her best friend's flirting. If your partner, she says, can understand his own share of the responsibility, maybe he could focus less on who is the baby's biological father and more on how special you are as a couple. Guys, this is why relationships are in the shit, man. Let's just keep it real. This is why marriage is on the decline. This is why females continue to lie. This is why women continue to cheat. This is why they deceive. This is why they commit paternity fraud and everything else that literally destroys themselves and the lives of men. This girl made a conscious decision to have unprotected sex with another man. She willfully and wantonly allowed a man to ejaculate inside of her again and again. And this relationship expert tells this girl that her boyfriend, who had nothing to do with the affair, shares in the responsibility. As if her boyfriend drove her to his best friend's house, poured liquor down her throat, and encouraged her to sleep with him. As if her boyfriend literally facilitated her cheating. So now, not only does this girl believe that she isn't fully responsible, she thinks her boyfriend is responsible for something she did. Plus, guess what? She no longer blames the best friend. So this girlfriend was unfaithful, and she will hold her boyfriend responsible for something she did of her own free will and volition. And we wonder why women cheat and never feel guilty. We wonder why paternity fraud is common. These girls are out here getting raw dogged by men other than their boyfriends and husbands, but blaming their boyfriends and husbands for their cheating. Far be it from a woman to voice concern or, God forbid, break up with the boyfriend or husband if there's trouble. No. In order to send a message, in order to save the relationship, she must cheat on her boyfriend or husband to let him know that something is amiss and needs to be addressed. Let me get that off the screen here. Hold on. There we go. You guys know that up until recently, I used to be pretty hard on low-level MGTOWs. I used to get on these guys for checking out of the dating market. I used to get on them for not having the balls to evolve and be successful with women, right? Now, granted, checking out of the dating market isn't something that I would do, nor is it something I would advise men to do. But guys, seeing stories like this have given me perspective on these guys' unwillingness to pursue relationships with women on any level, man. Again, I'm not endorsing giving up on women altogether, but I cannot blame you if you do. It is sad for me to say that this story is way too common, guys. And if this doesn't teach men, if this doesn't teach you guys that no matter how long you've known your friends, or how far you go back, or how close the two of you are, that you should never, ever, ever bring your girlfriend around your friends. If this doesn't teach you not to bring her around your friends, then you deserve what you get. Guys, there is way too much information. Listen, before I could understand, there was no internet. Dudes didn't really share stories like that. But dude, there is way too much information out there. There are way too many stories out here like this for men to just bury their heads in the sand and pretend that this is not only a possibility, but a common occurrence. Keep your girl away from your friends and vice versa. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.